Angelo thinks that his choices don't matter. So what does he do with his life? He just does what's easy. The quick pleasures, instant gratification, that's his bread and butter. Whenever it's time to just do nothing, Angelo decides, you know what, I'm a little bit bored, so I'm gonna just smoke one. When it's nighttime and everybody's getting lit, Angelo decides to make a choice to get lit too. And so he wakes up the next morning, hungover as shit, and he doesn't even know how badly his decisions are affecting his life. If only he understood what Aurelius understands. Aurelius knows that in order to have a good life, you have to make good choices, and you cannot separate the two. Aurelius once said that you have to assemble your life action by action, step by step. You have to assemble your life yourself, choice by choice. And so Aurelius decides that life is meant to be lived by our choices. I remember one time when I made one of the biggest choices in my life. This choice completely changed the direction in which my life was going. And here's how it happened. So I was in my car, not in my car, I was actually in somebody else's car. And some of the boys decided that we were going to be having a good time that night. So I finish up out of work, and two of my boys at the time, his name was Marquise and the other dude's name was Steve. They decided we were going to go get lit and go to Boston. At this point, I had already stopped drinking, but I still smoked weed, so I would hang out with them sometimes because, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So they call me up, they're like, yo, you out of work yet? And I'm like, yep, I'm out, bro. Let's go do something fun. It's Friday night. So here I am. I get picked up last. So we got this dude, Marquise, in the front seat. Steve is driving his car. And here I am in the back. And then one more guy named Carlos is also there with us. So we're about to get ready to go, just do some crazy shit, just chill. And at this point, I already sobered up, so I didn't realize that this was the normal life that we used to do. And here's what we did. We went to a liquor store and we went and picked up some bottles. I didn't drink at the time, but they were asking me to get a bottle for them because I don't know what reason, but I was like, okay, I got you. So I went in and I bought them a bottle, and then we started driving. And so here we are in the car. My boy Marquise starts taking some shots. He wasn't even a big drinker, but when he would drink, he would drink. So he starts taking shots, and then the guy that's driving, Steve, Marquise passes him the bottle, and he's like, here, take some shots too. And I was like, oh God, this is not looking good. And then the dude Carlos in the back starts taking some shots too, and then they start rolling up. And so now pretty much it's like smoke and drive. And then every once in a while, Keith would pass the handle to Steve, and then Steve was like basically swerving at this point, in and out. And then there was this one point where it was almost a turning point for me. I was in the back seat feeling powerless. My heart was pounding, and I feel like I have no control over the situation. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. And then at one point, Steve's driving, and he's literally drunk as shit at this point, and he pulls into a lane where the cars are coming in that direction. And then he's like, oh fuck, I'm in the wrong lane. Reverses, and then goes back in the right one, and I'm like, yo, this is not happening right now. This is literally what I'm thinking. My heart is just like going and going and going, and I don't know what the fuck to think. And then after that, I tell him like, yo, I gotta use the bathroom. And they're like, yo, fuck you, we're not stopping in the bathroom for you. And I didn't even have to use the bathroom, but I was like, fuck, how do I get myself out of this situation? And so we keep on driving. We're almost in Boston. And then eventually one of the boys, because they've been drinking so much, I think it was Steve, says he has to use the bathroom. So Steve pulls into a gas station, one of those gas stations that have, you know, a quick shop, quick mart inside. And so he pulls in, goes to use the bathroom, and I'm like, yo, I gotta use the bathroom too. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not just using the bathroom. I'm on my phone with my service provider at the time, and I'm telling them, yo, I need you to change my phone number. Luckily, I had a text line, so I could just text them and tell them, hey, I need to change my phone number ASAP. Why was I changing my phone number? Because I realized that I needed to get away from these people. Most people only change when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. In that moment, I realized I could not do shit. And I needed to get out of the situation, and I needed to get out of it forever. I did not want to be like that again. Because I was the sober one. They were the ones who were living life on the edge. And I was not willing to risk my life so that they could have a good time. So I'm texting my phone provider and I'm telling them, hey, change my phone number right now. And they're like, okay, we can change your phone number to this. Is this okay? Is this acceptable? And I'm like, yes, please change it now. And they're like, okay, you have to restart your phone, and then by the time you restart it, your phone number should be changed. I'm like, yo, thank God for technology, bro. So then, like I said, we had reached the gas station. And then Steve goes inside, and then I go inside. Steve comes out of the bathroom, and then I go in the bathroom, and then I lock myself in there. While I lock myself in there, I'm calling, I need somebody to come pick me up. Finally, I reach my cousin, and my cousin has been visiting us. She's at our house. So I'm like, yo, I need help. Can you come pick me up, please? I'm like in Boston, but I will do anything, just please come get me. And she's like, no problem. So I'm like, thank God. So now I have somebody on the way. But in the meantime, I don't want to explain to them why I'm not going back in the car. So I'm just staying in the bathroom. So here I am in the bathroom, just like waiting. And then my boy Steve's like, yo, you gotta come out. He comes and knocks on the door, like, you gotta come out, bro. I'm like, all right, I'm coming out. He's like, you gotta come out. And then I come out. And he's like, nah, I was just kidding. You didn't have to come out, but, you know, we should probably get going. And then I was like, oh, okay, bet. And I was like, well, shit, I forgot something in there. And so I'm like, let me go back in and get it. So I go back in, and then I lock myself in again. And then the guy who owns the shop is like, yo, what the fuck is this guy doing in my bathroom? I'm about to call the cops. And so now Steve's like, yo, this guy's gonna call the cops. What are you doing, bro? We gotta go. And I'm like, nah, I am not leaving this place. So here I am in the bathroom, trying to decide what the fuck I'm gonna do. And this guy is knocking on the door, and they're trying to call me, but obviously my phone's not reaching because I don't have the same number, so they can't reach me. And then eventually the cops show up. It's like 10 cops deep, bro. And then the cops are knocking. They're like, yo, open up, it's the cops. I'm like, oh fuck, well now I have to open up. And then the cops are there. And the cops are like, why aren't you going with your friends? This doesn't make any sense. And I was like, just let my friends go, and then I'll tell you the reason why I'm not going with them. And then they're like, okay. And then 5 minutes pass, and then they leave without me. I told them, like, yo, I'm not going with y'all. I'm peacing. So they leave, and then the cops are like, so you're going to tell us why the fuck you weren't going with them? I was like, yeah, they were drunk as shit, and I'm not staying in the car while my life is at risk. I don't even know if I'm going to make it out alive. And they're like, okay, so do you have a ride coming? Because you can't just stay here. And I said, yes, I have a ride on the way. Moral of the story is, that choice changed my life forever. And I started making better decisions after that. But not everything was fixed. And here's the thing. Poor life comes down to poor decisions. That's it. If you are poor, it's not because of your circumstances in life. It's not because of the things that happened to you when you grew up. It's not because of the job that you took. It's because of your choices. Because only your choices will lead you to that job. Only your choices would lead you to make bad decisions. Only your choices would lead you to the situation that you're in. And so I'll never forget that story, because it really marked a turning point in my life where I decided that I wasn't going to be with this group of people anymore. And that's why my phone number changed. Because instead of just blocking them all or doing whatever, I took a drastic action. And sometimes you have to take a drastic action in order to achieve a drastic result. My life flipped 360 after that, but only because I took the time to do something drastic and immeasurable. Something that most people couldn't imagine. What'll happen if I change my phone number? People won't be able to reach me anymore. That's what you're probably thinking, right? Well, the important people in your life will still be able to contact you, because the important people, you still have their phone number. You can reach out to them, and you can decide who you want to change, who you want to keep. So if you really have a situation with friends where you don't necessarily benefit from them being in your life, and they're just there and they're draining your energy and they're making bad choices, and so by association you're making bad choices too, then do what I did. Change your phone number. Changed my life. My life is not the same because I did that decision. And maybe you don't have to be as drastic as me, because maybe you don't want, as a result, people not knowing how to reach you. Let's say your work, for example. Well, you can just tell them, hey, I got a new phone provider and I changed my phone number. This is my new number. And you can do that to all the important people in your life, and it'll give you a fresh start. Imagine what that's like. Imagine feeling like this is your very first phone. Imagine now you don't get the same fucking teleprompters calling you, trying to get you to buy their product because you reset your phone. So now nobody knows who you are. It's such a beautiful thing when you get to restart. The idea of the tabula rasa, the idea of a clean slate. We don't get that very often in life, so take this opportunity and take it seriously. If you don't have friends that are benefiting you, why stay around them? You're better off alone or finding a community of like-minded people online. Something of that nature. So, don't fall for the trap. Sometimes loneliness is better than brotherhood if the brotherhood doesn't benefit you. If the brotherhood might lead to your demise. Sometimes it's good to take time to be alone and to reflect. Peace.